guys, so there's only one topic this week. To Kenobi or not to Kenobi? That is the question. At least from a certain point of view. So guys, welcome back to Jacob Babe this week, and there's only one possible subject I could have done this video on, and that has to be the news that broke during the week that an Obi-Wan Kenobi standalone film is on the cards, and that director Stephen Daldry, who's the director of Billy Elliot, has been in talks with Lucasfilm, working on a project to do this movie. And at first I was really excited when I heard about it, because I think everybody for the last few years has been crying out for a Kenobi movie, and I think that Lucasfilm are responding. But are they responding for the right reasons? Will this movie really work? I had to have a little think about that after the initial excitement kind of wore off, and everybody's talking about when they could set the film, and it looks like the only place that that film could be set is from the end of Revenge of the Sith to the start of A New Hope, up until that point where Luke Skywalker finally meets Ben Kenobi out in Tatooine after he's been attacked by Tusken Raiders. And I have to be completely honest, I think that's a really crummy idea. And I know a lot of people probably won't agree with me, and they're probably screaming at me going, how could you say that? I know that Obi-Wan Kenobi made appearances in the Clone Wars in the animated series. I know that he also had a big impact on the fans when he appeared in Rebels, and that was when he fought Darth Maul. And while that was an awesome idea, that's really the only thing they have to go on to do this standalone film. And while that would be really cool to bring back Ewan McGregor and bring back Ray Park and have them fight it out in Tatooine, and then finally bring in Ezra Bridger to the movie and cast somebody completely new, that would be so awesome. But that does not make a 2.5 hour film. That would make about 10 minutes of pure awesomeness, which I'm sure we'd all adore. But what do you do with that? Where do you take the story? He went into exile in Tatooine, and to be honest, he had to lay low because he didn't want to attract the Empire and attract Vader to his presence, because in turn that would lead them to Luke Skywalker, which is what they would have loved. So what can you really do with this film? To me, it would just be 10 minutes of awesomeness with 2 hours, 20 minutes of him sitting, meditating, maybe practicing lightsaber moves all by himself, nobody else around, just sitting silently in the desert. I don't know, maybe it could be like Castaway with Tom Hanks, and he could have like a rock that he draws a face on and keeps it as his friend throughout the whole thing. So I just don't see what they could possibly do with it. So when thinking about that, then I was thinking, where could they go with it? And I thought, and you can agree with me or disagree with me, but I thought, what if the standalone Ben Kenobi movie was a prequel to the prequels? Wouldn't that be something a little bit different, maybe? What about the life of Kenobi before he became a Jedi, before he met Qui-Gon Jinn? We don't know anything about that part of his life, and that might be really awesome. The young Ben Kenobi's life, rather than the one that's in between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope. So I thought, God, that could be really cool. We'd find out where he came from, what his background was, his whole history, how he ended up being a Jedi, when he first realised he had the Force within him. I mean, that would make an awesome movie, wouldn't it? I would have thought it would. It would be really cool to see his life prior to the prequels, and it might bring a little bit more redemption in for the prequels if we had a really awesome standalone film that kind of leads us straight into them. I mean, I do like the prequels, I have to be honest. I do like them. I don't adore them the way I adore the original trilogy or these newer films, but they do have some really cool things about them. For example, the Duel of Fates, that awesome fight between Ben Kenobi, Qui-Gon Jinn and Darth Maul. I mean, that was pretty epic. And I did love Padme. I really loved Padme. I thought she was a cool character. So I really think that's the only way they can go with it. But I have a sneaking suspicion that's not what they're going to do. They are going to try and put a story together about his time in exile on Tatooine. Because a few years back there was an interview, I think maybe about 2 years back, there was an interview done with Ewan McGregor, and he was asked if he had talked with Kathleen Kennedy about doing a Ben Kenobi movie. And his whole demeanour kind of changed in the interview, as if he was under contract and was not allowed to say. And he didn't actually answer the question. He just went in a roundabout way of saying that he would love to do a Kenobi movie if there was one on the cards. But I strongly suspected after seeing the interview that this has actually been discussed a good few years back, and that they were just waiting for the right director to come along and the right time to make it. And so they made Rogue One to see what way the fans would respond to that, and based off the back of that they would then decide whether they should bring in a Kenobi movie or not. So they're kind of my thoughts on it. I'm afraid it's not a very long video this week because there really isn't a lot to say about that part of his time in exile, is there really, except that he sat in this little hut with Anakin's lightsaber and his own thoughts for 20 years. How he didn't go out of his mind is beyond me. And that's really it. I have much more hope for a movie about Boba Fett, which I know is on the cards as well. I had heard about that a good few years back, that was definitely one of the projects they were looking at, was a Boba Fett movie and a Yoda film. Mind you, I don't know where they're going to go with that. But a Ben Kenobi movie set after Revenge of the Sith before A New Hope. Blah. I don't know. I really don't know that would work. But a Ben Kenobi, like the Han Solo film, a young Ben Kenobi before the prequels, when he was a young man and ended up becoming an apprentice and a Padawan, that might be a kind of awesome story to see. Maybe he was a bit of a rebel, or maybe he wasn't. Maybe he was a little, I don't want to swear, a little brat or something, and they could do something really cool with that and do his whole background. I mean, if they're going to do a standalone film about Kenobi, why don't they just go nuts? Let's do standalone movies about everybody. I know that everybody would love one about Ahsoka Tano, so why don't they address that? Lucasfilm, why don't you address that? Ahsoka Tano would be an awesome standalone film. We would all love to see that. We really, really would. What about a Padme film? We don't know much about Padme other than she was an empress when she came into the Phantom Menace. That's it. We'd love to know more about Padme. Why not? Let's go nuts. Let's do it about everybody. Let's do a young Leia movie. Go on, go nuts. Jar Jar Binks. How about a young Jar Jar Binks movie? What happened to Jar Jar before Phantom Menace? So, you know, I'm wondering if Lucasfilm are just desperately trying to respond to the fans. And while fans have been crying out for a Kenobi movie, have we all really thought it through? Maybe this movie would be really crummy and cheesy and awful, and you know, and I think people have cried out for a movie to be done during his years in exile on Tatooine, and that might not be the best move for that character, and I don't know that it would work because there isn't really much of a story there to go with. However, his younger life, there could be, because we don't know anything about that, so they could really do anything they wanted with it, and it might be really, really awesome. So I guess that's it. That's all I can really say about it. It's a short video this week, I know. How many of you went to Dublin Comic Con? Sorry, totally off topic, but it was really awesome, and I did do my first video live of Dublin Comic Con. It wasn't great because I wasn't used to doing live video, and the feed kept getting cut on us, which kind of made it very messy and not very smooth, but we did manage to get a little bit up there, not a lot. But I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really fun time. Absolutely fun. I love cosplayers, by the way. I hung out with all cosplayers. It was so cool. And I've signed up with the Emerald Garrison. So I think that's going to be really awesome. And I'm dying to learn how they do all that they do. And I'm going in there as an apprentice. As a Padawan. I don't know who my master will be, we'll see. But I think that's going to be a lot of fun. That's it from me, guys, this week. I'm sorry it's a short one, and I've no idea what I'm going to bring you next week. Maybe they're going to come out and say they're doing a movie about something else that we're not expecting, and I'll be able to talk about that. If you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe and click that little red and white button below this picture down there. You see it? You see it? Press it. It's free. You might as well come along and join the force, and we can rule the galaxy together. Yes, we can. And you can also follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram and Pinterest. I'm on all of those and I'm kind of getting much more active on them now. I wasn't before, but I really am kind of getting into it. So that's it, guys. I hope you have an amazing week and may the force be with you. Peace out. Bye bye.